This is the Egg Laying Adventure Safari Park.
Yes.
Right. Have you filled in the cover sheet?
No. Okay, welcome to our presentation. I'm Rupert, this is James. Our business, as you can see, is Urban 360. It's an action sport and youth development centre. We have two main areas of involvement. These are the skate park, which can be used for skating, BMXing, inlines, scooters if you really want to let them in. We're not going to turn anyone away. Our next area of involvement is youth development. Okay, this is working with the council, schools, colleges, helping to increase participation in sport, making people aware of healthy lifestyle choices, creating social inclusion amongst the kids, teenagers that come along, and hopefully promoting an educational development. Every so often we're going to be holding competitions and events, just again to promote business, promote sports, and promoting these lifestyles. We're going to have after-school youth clubs. This is for the young people. Summer holiday coaching programs and various other activities where we just get a lot of people involved to join us. Our market, we've thought out Generation Y, people aged between 12 and 25. They're predominantly going to be males and who are going to come and use the facilities. That's for our skate park area. For the youth community, it's going to be 7 to 12 year olds, so it's year 3 to year 9 who are in the middle of key stage 2 and 3. We're going to get them to come along to the centre, sit them down and do some homework with them, have volunteers to come and help us, which will be using from universities, from the colleges, just a bit of experience. Help with the homework. Once they've done the homework, we'll get them free rein of the park for another hour or so, as just an incentive, to come out and do your homework, keep your education going.
We wanted to get into this market because it's worth $22 billion globally. This has been because the action sports industry has just blown up in the last decade through companies like Red Bull just investing millions into it. The climbing industry alone gets 5 million visits to climbing walls. Increasing coverage by TV and events, we think that this sort of venture is going to take off. We've identified our main revenue is going to be through park membership, session fees where they come in and pay a price. We're going to offer hire so they can try out the activities. Events and competitions will be sponsored, so that's where we're going to get revenue for that. For our youth community work, we've identified many sources such as UK Sport, lottery funding, and councils. They provide funding for this sort of thing to develop the youth community.
Who's behind me? It's going to be myself, Rupert, and James. We're both really passionate and we've got a lot of knowledge about the industry and the sports themselves. We both physically participate and socially participate in the sports. I myself have worked for Extreme Element, which is an extreme sports agency, and I was selling and marketing their products and the events that they ran. I've got further marketing experience and organisation experience organising an extreme sport event in London called X in the City at the Excel Centre. Recently I've been working as an adventure sports activity instructor with people of all ages, group sizes from 2 to 30, and stag parties and that, so I know how to deal with people like that who are a bit of trouble, especially kids. I think my personal attributes for this type of business are good leadership, self-awareness, great customer service skills, and I'm good at problem solving.
I'm James, and for the last year I've been working music events across the country, doing gigs, tours, that sort of thing, and competitions. So using my knowledge of that, I think is going to be vital in getting these competitions, finding sponsors, getting them promoted. We also both work, we have experience teaching primary school children. Rupert doing
football, cricket, many things.
Myself doing music classes, teaching band workshops, that sort of thing. Well organised, work well as part of the team, and my financial planning skills, I feel, will keep the business on track.
Alright, our competition. We've identified Our main competition is these ones listed here. As you can see, they're dotted around the country. There's no one place where it's going to have like 4 there, 3 there, 1 there. Okay, there's going to be one in different areas because there's no point having a business like this popping up right next to something similar. So we're going to find somewhere, preferably around Reading, Brighton and Bournemouth. We've identified as areas where there's nothing significant for people to come along and get involved in a place such as this.
We've identified the factory in Dundee as being a really successful competitor. They have over 11,000 regular members, an annual footfall of 50,000 people, revenue of 250,000, and the grants they receive from lottery and the councils comes up to 220,000. We want to bring that model down to the south. So we feel this is an advantage because there's not a lot of skate parks and community centres like skate parks down in the south that provide this level of youth support. So we want to bring that model from the factory down to Reading, Brighton or Bournemouth.
When we say skate parks, okay, our advantage was it's indoors, so it can be used in the rain, snow, wind, hail, anything like that. So that's one of our biggest advantages, which is something that you can't get in a regular skate park. It's going to be easy accessible via train, bus, bike, skateboard, however you want to come, we'll get there. Last thing, our opportunity we're going to try and give to them for the social things for the youth and for anyone who comes is offering film and photography equipment, music, and coaches for the sports to develop all these different skills for the industry. That is our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Any questions?
Would it be quite a high risk, so I perceive it as like you can easily break a leg, skateboard and things like that. How are you going to overcome that? And will parents want to send their kids somewhere when it first starts up if they don't know your reputation or safety and stuff like that? How will you overcome that?
That's a valid point. Well, there are special companies that actually offer insurance for these. And before anyone comes to join our centre, they're going to have to sign a waiver. And if they're under 16, the parents will have to sign it. If they want to come down and have a look, check it out, that's absolutely fine. That's our way.
Will you have first aiders on site as well?
Yeah, most of us will be first aid trained. Great.
You talked about doing a youth centre thing.
Yeah.
But a youth centre is inclusive of all kids around in the community like Mal. What age, sex, gender, races, what you can do for disability children.
Well, you have got disability, get people in wheelchairs come and do these sports. There's not a massive amount of them, but if they want to come down and have a go at something, we're not going to turn them away. Obviously, it could get difficult, but if we can get people in who would like to volunteer, anyone who's trained to actually deal with people who've got disabilities, then we're not going to turn.
Photography. We're like with the youth centre, we're also offering sort of classes with photography, music workshops, things that everybody can get involved with.
How are you going to be able to afford to do it? You're obviously going to have to build premises to be able to do that. Where are you going to get funding from? The funding being cut across the country. There's no sponsorship really out there. There's no funding revenues anymore. How are you going to get that funding to actually build it?
We don't necessarily need to build the actual centre. We looked at warehouses, things like that. Old churches have been used, old schools, things like that. We've got a company called GBH Ramps who've offered to build park for us at a discounted rate. And like I say about the cuts and funding things, sponsorship from companies such as drinks companies like Red Bull, Monster, things like that, brands, people like that who are still going to throw money into things like these because it's going to be a market where it's going to keep growing for quite a while yet.
Yes, in the back.
You say your target market is up to the age of 25. The centre that you're actually offering, you don't think you're cutting yourself a bit short at 25?
Well, that's just how
That's what we.
that's how we, obviously, if people are going to come being 30, 35, because obviously there are people that age who do these sports. It's just our actual identified market is 12 to 25. That's the one that is at the moment booming.
I know actually GBH Ramps. How much of the discount can you get? Because to build a skate park and to charge people to go in quite a long time, we do have to maintain it.
Yeah, the guy I spoke to as well, one of my friends, Luke, he's helping to design the actual, we're thinking of doing a hybrid of the metal frames with wood used for the actual ramps themselves. As it's indoors, it's not going to get weathering. It will get used, so there will be that element. But at the end of the day, if we can get that fixed as soon as problems happen, then didn't have it. Well, he said about £50,000. Depending on size and what we want to be included. But obviously, there's negotiations for that, and nothing's been set in concrete yet. Or would.
A couple of points. I mean, much more focus than previous efforts. You said one of the objectives, the second objective of the business would be social inclusion.
Yeah.
And then the next slide you said, we're going to have boys.
Going to have.
Mostly
That's
boys.
what we've identified through research. The majority of people that come to these are boys.
I'm just saying sort of consistency, that perhaps in your vision for your company would be not to accept the status quo, but to actually increase participation in...
It's just, as for the market, what we'd expect to come, it would be predominantly male people.
We've seen other companies offer girl-only nights, that sort of thing, so that's...
We're not going to segregate it just to males.
And the other immediate observation is building on that point. The needs of 12-year-olds versus 25-year-olds, we've got child safety issues there in terms of...
Well, it's going to be monitored by staff at all times, and there'll be security cameras. These are obviously there's a lot to be aware of when it comes to child safety, but it can be done, and it's proven that it has happened.
Final question, yeah.
I think before you start making money, you need people to come in and host the activities that you're dependent on, so like all these music stuff. But I think before they want to start working with you, you're on a membership basis, so how you can come with sort of like
Sorry, can you say it again? Sorry.
yeah, so like you're going to need people to host your activities and sort of undermine you, so like the music stuff.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to work for you until you've got a solid membership basis, so they can actually make money from your centre. But then members aren't going to come without their activities being posted, so
when I worked the last year working music workshops, there's so many people doing like the music teacher programs. They need experience, and this is a great way for them to come in, get experience, volunteer, goes on their CV. So we're getting people that are doing professional qualifications in teaching music, come in and get to universities, that sort of thing, and getting volunteers.
Okay, thank you.